that land, I divided the money into 4. It wasn't much. I think I sold it then. Was it 1.5 or 1.7? It wasn't much, but I divided the money into 4. And I said, you know what? Yes, I was paying. I was before my marriage crumbled. We were living in Ikeja, off what's that place called? That Agidingbi. Remember? I could, from that money, I could afford to get a flat in Agidingbi if I wanted to again, or get a flat anywhere. You understand? With 1 point something, I could afford it. But I had to draw a plan. I knew this marriage thing wasn't going to work for me. And I knew that I had to move on. But I had to put all this penene apart. I had to put all the, I want to be big, I want to slay. I had to put all those ones apart. I had to think of how I was going to be able to manage myself as a single mom. Even as a married woman, I was doing everything. So I had to go what? I had to go get a house in Ikorodu. You understand? I had to move to Ikorodu. Ikorodu, I didn't grow up in that kind of environment. You know, to say. Ikorodu for me, moving there was like going back. It was like going backwards. But I needed to save some of the money to be able to establish myself, put my children in school. I understand, and forge ahead with my life. It wasn't an easy decision for me, but it was a decision I had to make and stand by it. So a lot of women have problems having to leave all these goodies. Maybe the husband bought her a car, she's driving a car, and she knows that if she has to walk out of that marriage, the husband will take the car. Leave that car. You live in Ikoyi. If you leave this man, you can't afford a house in Ikoyi. Move to Ikorodu or Yanopaja or anywhere.
Abi.
Start somehow. Even if it's in a one room. Start. When you're on your own. Because most times when I'm on my own and there's no distraction, you can think. And sometimes the first decision you make on things you want to do might end up not being the right decision, but you know what? You are learning. It's a process. As you move on, you make mistakes. You understand, along the line, you correct yourself, and then you pick up the pieces, and then you move on. Like I used to talk before, I'm never ashamed to stop a particular business. If I start a business, even working people by yesterday, they come and eat, drink, media come, cover it up. If I notice that business ain't I'm packing up that business, I'm starting something else. I'm not part of those people who's going to sit and say, my friends, they will mock me. Oh, society will condemn me. I have fallen many times in my life, Tosin, you are aware. And I will pick it up and I will start all over again. And that is life. This life, it's a race. We're going to keep running it. And like people say, problem no they finish. No matter how you try to solve one problem, another one will come up. So you have to learn to focus on you. How am I going to get there? It's not easy for some people. Yes, it's not, because some people will start, they will struggle, and it will be like it's not working. But you can start anyhow. You can start from selling pure water. To say, when I was married and we had a lot of financial issues, from opening my first shop then, I remember I opened my first shop then in, what's that place? Onipan. I think I was 21, right? When I did that. My pregnancy, I was so heavy, I couldn't continue with the shop anymore. I closed it down. I sold everything at a giveaway price, kept the money. And after my son was about 3 months old, I started going to Cotonou, Misebo, to buy Ankara, those Ankara then, those Guinea, and also and all those things, and to sell them. We'll go into Cotonou, Misebo, we'll buy jeans, I'll come, I'll take it around offices, I was selling it, The money wasn't adding up, so I started doing cookies. I'll do cookies, put them in nylon, pin them, carry the clothes, carry the cookies, walk into banks. Sometimes they will chase me out. You understand? Sometimes I'll be lucky enough to sell, but in the process of trying to, move around, selling things, you understand? The company called me, combined. I said, okay, why don't you? We're looking for a sales rep. I didn't say, I already own a business of my own. I'm going to Kutonu. I'm selling cookies. I took the job. You must be able to multitask. That's why I'm saying that if you're a lazy person, you can't forge ahead. You have to be ready to multitask. I took the job as a sales rep. I've combined technology in Ilupejo. I have my receipts. You understand? Everything I'm saying, you can go to confirm. I was there. I was working as a sales girl, earning 3,005. Do you know why I took that job? Because my mom was dependent on me. You know, I'm going to talk about that when I start my YouTube program. Why she was dependent on me at a very young age. And so I was working for her. And those things I was selling, I was using those ones for my children. Are you understanding me? So I will go and give her 2,500 for my salary. The remaining 1,000 naira, I used to pay daycare for Festus. Because Festus was in daycare. And then, and I was so nice to customers that most times they tip me. People come there. I used to sell artwork paintings. I want paintings to my artwork. You know? People will come, they'll tip me. Most times I even make more money than my salary. You understand? And it wasn't easy because I had to wake up very early in the morning when we're still living in Itire Road. Beat my child, do everything, you know, buy a washing machine, there was no, we had conga, I will fetch conga water, you know. The only time I don't get to fetch water is when the bucket out for rain, during rainy season. And during rainy season, I had hypertension because most times when there's so much water in the compound, it goes into our room and then we have to start throwing water out, you know. So I went through a lot. But I was determined.
God bless single mothers. That's what I'm talking about.
Journey.
God bless single mothers.
The journey. Now it looks easy because everything is rosy. But it's never an easy journey. And people need to understand that there's something that is so great.
That's what I'm talking about, single mother.
You can't trade it for anything. You can't trade it for marriage. You can't trade it for society. You can't trade it for your husband or your wife. And you can't even trade it for your children. Because mental health is real.
Yes.
She faced me.
Depression is real. Your personal health is real.
That is what people need to understand. And what
that's Iyabo Ojo with
Tosin. Most people don't understand that, you know, mental health is real. Most women tend to, I'm still like, tend to think about what people will say. We're going for drive-through. What would my friends say? What would family members say? What would, you know, my co-workers, my colleague, what will they say? Then they then stay back. Not just because they really want to be in that situation. Apart from because, like you said, most married women these days can even be married to millionaires, billionaires, but they still stay in abusive relationship. They have that front to support themselves. But they don't want to leave. It's not because of the comforts. It's because of what will people say. But when you're gone, people don't think about, okay, when eventually they actually die, what will people say? And this is, you know, with
God bless your wisdom, Tosin.
I don't mince words with parents. I don't. I go into families. If it is a case of domestic violence, domestic abuse, any form of abuse, I say it right there and then. It has to stop. And you're not going back to that relationship. Because you need to think about yourself. This is what I say to people. I come first in everything. I am sorry. If it's not making me happy, I am sorry. I think about
you don't have to be in that relationship.
I love my kids. I love them 1,000,000 and 100.
And women, and there's another thing. I made a mistake on that part at a particular time in my life. And I used to believe that I could change someone. Like, I used to believe that when I give so much love to that person will eventually notice it. It's a very wrong
mentality.
It's a wrong mentality. Yes, that's the word. It's a wrong mentality for you to believe that you can change someone. You cannot change anybody.
Let me say to that. What most people do is we know what we want. Like you said, when you're in a relationship with someone, even it could be friendship, it could be relationship, it could be anything. You already notice that this person is doing a whole lot of things that you don't align with.
Yeah.
But then you begin to think that, okay, when we eventually get married, this person will change. It's not possible to change an adult. An adult can actually say to you, oh, don't worry, babes, don't worry, I'll do this when we marry. But you've been seeing all this before marriage. Then when you start to have kids, you want this person to change. Before marriage, this person would abuse you verbally, would abuse you, you know.
Yeah, and to cut you short, I said something, you know, along the line when I was saying something, I deviated and I said, women need to understand that these men out there, that's the way they were raised.
Yeah.
And most of the fault is on us, we mothers, our mothers. Because our sons, we raise them that way. We make them feel special from the very first day that they were born. We treat them specially. They don't do nothing. They come to us with everything, and we're always there to pamper them and give them everything they want. From breastfeeding to when they start working, to when they fall, to when they, you know, like we are always there, even when they're grown.
Yeah.
We still treat them like they're the man. They don't need to come into the kitchen. You know, a whole lot of things.
True.
And they grow up with that mentality.
That's it.
And so when they're getting married, they are expecting that they're going to have a second mom, so to say. Like their wife is going to be just like how their mother was. Now you have to remember that most mothers, we don't go back to our sons to say, for me, I hardly call Festus. It's just like when I did that program then, why do I always call it program? When I did that video about trying to encourage a lot of single mothers, my son didn't know anything until when I did that video. You were there. I sent that video to you first and told you I was sending it to Festus before posting it. You remember? Yes. Now, that was when he found out so many things. You understand? So that's the way mothers are. We will not call our sons to say, come me. We don't do that. So they don't feel our pain. They don't understand our pain. Because even our tears, when they come in, we are quick to clean our eyes and say, okay, what is it? It's always all about them. What do you want? How are you doing? This is this. It's always all about them. So these guys, these boys, these babies, they grow up. You understand? They are men, but they're still babies. Yeah. You understand? The ones that maltreat women, I'm talking about the ones that give you mostly emotional abuse and physical abuse. Yeah. You know, because when they're growing up, they have younger sisters and they beat them. And the mom, when they go to the mom, instead of the mom to scold him first. Because for me, when Festus was young, once he beats Priscilla, or any of the other boys beats Priscilla, they know they are in for it for me. So Priscilla, you know Priscilla then, if they are beating her in the morning, I was not around, she will cry till I come back in the night. There is no amount of beg you beg her because she must report them because she knows they're going to be in trouble. And they know. So even before I listen to him, I will first scold him for beating his sister. Because he needs to understand that it's a no-go area. You cannot raise your hands on your
my
sister.
son, mom, Amira. Oh, my address to me. My son don't even beat her sister.
Are you understanding me? Before I now said,
Timio taking no Amira. Oh, my bad, mommy. Tell Amira to stop it. Tell Amira to stop it.
And then whoever is at fault would eat the second road. You understand? So that's the way. But a lot of we mothers, I'm adding myself to it because I don't know. I probably might be guilty of it. A lot of we mothers, when our sons are saying, "Oh, mommy, he did it," say, "Don't talk that to your brother. Don't talk that to your boy." Okay, go and wash the plate. You expect the girl to go and wash the plate.
They were raised. Yeah.
You understand? You expect the girl to go into the kitchen and
to wash the plate.
You expect the girl to do everything because you've made the boy understand that the only job he has to do is to go out there and hunt for money and then enjoy himself if he has to. And when you see them messing around, and then maybe a young girl comes home today, they come and introduce. Ever since I've known my son, Festus, his siblings might know about his girlfriend, but I've never met any of his girlfriend before. Even right now, I'm even craving to know his girlfriend. I really want to meet his girlfriend finally. But you know, because of the way I online. Yeah, because the way I train them, if you bring anybody, is that person for me? Oh, you understand? That's it. But most mothers, you bring this one. Ah,
I want your carbon Peter.
Bringing another woman,
Your
another
son.
girl home. Ah, people are like, that's the wrong way of teaching a man
That's
how
it.
to grow.
That's it.
So it falls on we women.
That's it.
Are you understanding? Because when you bring somebody home, I want to question. And same goes with Priscilla. You bring anybody home, she knows I will ask 1,000 questions. I will question you. And when you live in that relationship, I need to understand why you're living that relationship. Relationship. Yeah. Now all these things, it goes with them. It makes them to understand that you can toy with somebody's heart. You can joke with somebody's feeling. Now a lot of we mothers, we women that end up suffering because I suffer. I know that I know that I'm being. Now a lot of we women that are suffering these things, this situation was actually being created by we women ourselves. And that's why until women begin to understand how to raise a boy child, this girl child will still grow up, go into this home and go through the same situation. Because you know what? They become narcissists. This boy child becomes they've normalized it. They've normalized it. Yeah. They don't have any empathy. They believe a woman is a property, an object that has to be used. I will marry her because I need to feel like a man. Like, okay, I'm a responsible man now. I'm married. Even when they are misbehaving, they call themselves responsible men, quotes, because they are married. She needs to have children for me. She needs to prepare my food. She needs to take care of my house. They never bother to find out about what does she want? How is she feeling? What is she going through? How can I make her happy? Now, when you find a man like that, please grab him, hold on to him, and never let him go. Because, baby girl, men like that are very, very hard to come by. And that's the fact. They're talking about women, too. Do you know, I mean, there are women, too, that are, perpetrators. You know that? Yes. But it's just a shame that men don't talk about abuse. It's rare that you would see a man that would speak to you that you know what I am being abused. Women too abuse. Yeah. Your line. Can you still see me? Saying connected. Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah. Because I can see some people say, "Oh, women. I mean, men too. Yes, but in our society, it's difficult for a man to come out to say, you know what, I am being abused. Yeah. See, if a man is being abused, it's the same thing. It's vice versa. If you're being abused here as a man, walk out of the relationship. It's that easy for a man. It's never easy for men. Anybody. It's a decision. It's a decision to say. Because you see, like I said, your mental health is important. There are a lot of lazy men out there too. That they depend solely on the woman. You see, humans, that's the way we are. We notice that you are dependent on me 100%. We begin to abuse it. We begin to take advantage of it. Just like abroad now. The women, they will insult their husbands, stab them, do everything. The man is afraid to wave his hand because they will call them. Becomes homeless. Yes. But you know what? Sometimes it's better for you to become homeless and have peace of mind and walk away when it is time. Stop saying because of the kids. The kids will grow up and they will understand. Let me tell you, there's no amount of children today. If I have their father, I tell you that there's an age that they will know it. At a young age, they will know what I say that is. But as they grow, because it will keep So most times, a lot of men will be like, I can't walk away because of my children. If that woman is a threat to the children, then you need to call the right authorities and find a way how they can get those kids off her. See, what I'm just saying in a nutshell is, whatever situation you're going through, no matter how hard, no matter how difficult it is, it still boils down to one thing: your happiness, your mental sanity. Let me use that. And it still boils down to you making a decision. See, decisions are not easy to make because it entails a lot of risks. You understand? But sometimes it is what is at the end of the day. Because when you stay in it, it's not going to get better. It will not. It will not get better. Because you have to adjust your life.
Your life.
Yeah. To there.
Then.
Take all the shit they throw at you.
Then.
And think about yourself. The moment you start about themselves.
You see a lot of people, when they're depressed, they eat a lot.
Yeah.
They eat a lot. And they become so big. Now, they don't know why they're becoming so big. Because they're depressed. They're eating a lot. A lot of people, when they're depressed, they don't eat. Some eat. And they become so big. And then they begin to, the same people you're getting depressed for, that is making you eat so much, will now start body shaming you. See how big you are. See how big you look. See how you look.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. And then because, you know, for a very long time, okay, I'll just say this. For a very long time, you know, I lacked a lot of self-confidence. You remember when we first met? I could
not. Sorry,
body shaming me. This same thing that happened to me happened because I had a baby for you. Happened to me because I had a son for you. But now you made it, everything that became on me. Like, I'm naked and you're telling me, probably he's saying that to me so that I don't have it in my head that any man would want me in case I want to walk away, because he knew then that he was emotionally fucking up with me. All right? But maybe that was what he was doing. But indirectly, he was killing all my morals. And no matter how pretty people tell me then that, oh, you're so beautiful, to me, I felt really ugly. You understand me? I felt really ugly. I remember when I left him and I had my first boyfriend, you know, it was always, no matter what we are doing, my hand is in my tummy, you understand? And you say, okay, a lot of women have it now. I'm like, it's ugly. So you see, when you stay in that relationship, they fuck up your brain that even
they take away self-esteem in such a way that nothing, even if you like
that relationship or marriage, you know, it's so hard for you to build it up again.
Yeah.
So you cannot, anybody who is abusing you, and let me tell you something, baby girl. I don't know about the physical abuse because I was never physically abused. I was only emotionally abused. Emotional abuse is one of the worst and most dangerous things that you would ever want to go through. Because you feel very little, you feel unloved, you feel useless at the time, you feel not accepted, you have to do everything extra.
Yeah, just to be accepted.
That's it.
Yes.
Go.
I remember the first time I had my tattoo on. I had the tattoo on because I felt it will enhance my beauty. Now you tell me sometimes, oh, yeah, but you always admire yourself, like, seriously. Because I have overgrown that now. So now I look at myself every time and I'm like, how come I never saw this beauty in me
before?
But it wasn't that for me initially. What made me started lightening up my skin? You remember I had it when I had Priscilla, the permanent ifo become that thing. And I used to feel dirty because like people would, and I'm a very neat person, but when people say that kilo share anymore, only funny, you know, so the thing used to make me feel so dirty. And in the process of trying to want to get that off, I started, you know, lightening up my skin. Yeah. And I noticed that when I started using lightening cream, the whole thing disappeared. And that's what Kobabi with lightening cream. Okay, fine, good. Although I'm still pretty though with it anyways. Now, those days then when I had that, was the first person to always say, so even when I have somebody at the door, I have to quickly go and carry my block. I don't want to pardon here. I'll just use it to patch and block.
Our daddy Alibaba is here. Maybe, Daddy, please make a comment if you want us to add you to. What are we going to call it? Program? Please.
You know, so, like, for me, I'm saying a lot of things that I actually wanted to say in my YouTube. I'm trying to talk about it in my YouTube. Yeah. I'll talk about it more in my YouTube. You know, I'm not playing victim mode. Don't get me wrong. No, I'm just talking out of experience, and because I can.
You can understand your experience to teach people, to motivate people.
That's why I said, some who are going through physical abuse, I don't know. I don't even know. I don't know how I don't think I can find myself in such a situation.
Because your story might be different from my story. My story might be different from somebody else's story. You know, it's that's life. And you talking about it now, you're not talking about it because you want to play the victim. You know, most people will still say, oh, what's she talking about? And most people will see and hear your story and say, okay, I'm going through this. Maybe I need to make a change. Maybe I need to think about myself. Maybe I need to come first. But before you can make a decision, even if you have 1 million...
Daddy Alibaba, I love you. I love you, Uncle Ali. I love you.
Ask him.
No, he's not coming in.
Maybe he can add to it, you know, from a man...
Okay, Uncle, let me know if you want to come in so I can add you to this.
Victoria Yamatu is online. I want to add.
Oh, Vicky!
I can come. But before I come, like I always say, please, people, women, men, think about yourself. Because when you die, you die. That's the end of life. All this, I am doing it for my children. I'm doing it for so and so. They are alive. And that is the fact.
Thinking
about yourself.
On my foot.
I love you, but if I am not happy doing it, I am not going to do it.
You know, like for me, it was a decision. I had to make that decision. I had to make that decision to stay happy. And when I walked out of the marriage, I wasn't happy. I was
actually support. Sweetheart, let me. You had support. Most people don't have that support. You were depressed, but you had people you could talk to. You had people.
I hurt people.
I know. See, I need you to pick up on this. A lot of women don't have that support. A lot of people don't have that support. You had that support. You had people like me. You had other people outside of your marriage that you could speak to. Though they were not going to help you financially.
A lot of people have people. But let me tell you something about having people. There's one thing for you to have people, and there's another thing for you to deal with depression. I can have so many people around me that will tell me, oh, yeah, but this, oh, yeah, but that. But you know, let me tell you something, when I'm alone, I'm not happy. Are you understanding me? I don't want to talk to anybody. Then, I wasn't ready to talk to anybody. The only two people, the only two things, don't even use people, the only two things that gave me joy, apart from my children, was clubbing and drinking sometimes.
I don't drink, but I go party.
For me then, I could remember very well one of my colleagues, I don't want to mention her name now. We're very best friends then. She didn't understand why I loved going to club. I used to go to club with my own money, spend my own money. But each time I'm in the club and I'm hearing those songs and we're dancing and that moment, I'm not thinking of anything.
Guarantee. Guarantee.
When I'm with the kids and we're talking and we're playing and, you know, I'm taking care of them, that moment, I'm not thinking of anything. But the moment I'm alone in my room, I'm saying to myself, Iyabo, you worthless. You failed. You are ugly. How could you have a child and look so skinny and so ugly? Before you had kids, you were thick. You were pretty. Now you have to lighten up your skin to get off all these things, and look at now, you have to deal with that. And even you had a tattoo on, you still look ugly because there's no one's going to marry you. No one's going to accept you. You have 2 kids at your age. Failed marriage. Your mom had a failed marriage, and you having a failed marriage. It's an ancestral cause. You just took up your maternal. You are dead. You are gone. Those are the things that rings in my head. And then you can call me that moment, and I pick. What's up, oh man, I'm not happy. I say, we talk. Will you put that down again? And it happens again. Depression is real.
It is real.
And if you're not strong, it will take you from this and throw you down. And that's why, for a very long time in my life, I was not outgoing. Like, I go out, but I wasn't. A lot of people saw me as mean, as rude, as saucy, because I didn't want to allow people into my life.
You became very defensive.
And so it was so easy for me to play gangster role, trust me. It was so easy for me to play the bitch girl, the bad girl, the rude girl, the crazy girl. Because that was what I was feeling at that time. That was how I could deal with myself at that time. And I didn't want nobody to love me. I didn't want nobody to get close to me. Even those who tried to love me, I pushed them away. I only could identify and recognize with people who didn't want me, and I didn't care. And you know that story, Tosin, because for a very long time, that was who I was. The only good thing about me then was that my children were my strength. My children were my everything. I just wanted to see those kids happy. I wanted to see them have the world. And I was ready to give everything and everything to them.
Yeah.
But I went through those stages when I left my marriage. So what I'm saying is that living your marriage, like I say, go, leave, work out. It doesn't mean when you leave, everything is going to be rosy. It doesn't mean when you leave, you're going to get out of that depression or that whatever it is you're going through.
That's when
it's struggle. It will go with you as you move. But when I'm depressed, when I'm going through my pain, I even thought I found love at a particular point in time, and I started to do again for that person like I did for my husband, my ex-husband. I was doing for him, hoping and thinking that as I'm doing, he will be different. But unfortunately, he was also a narcissist, and I was doing, and I wasn't getting, I was trying, and then that even became war. I almost lost my sanity because I could not understand. How can I give you so much love and then you can
Iyabo Ojo.
How can that be?
Ondugoni,
Now that
seriously.
was another story.
Ondugoni.
And I felt so much rage.
That's it, babe.
But I didn't care.
That's it. I don't want to change this conversation, but I don't want you upset.
She starts upset already. She starts already. Okay.
Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Hello, Tosi, can you hear me? I can't hear you anymore.
Tosin, okay, Iyabo Ojo makishani. Sukundanu.
I didn't care about my happiness. I was angry.
She's gonna start crying.
calm down.
Iyabo Ojo
I
ma
was
bless
angry that a
my
lot of people looked down on me, and I gave love,
Iyabo.
even though I did not receive
Oh
it
my
back.
God.
And
She's
don't
going to
forget
start
that
crying.
the reason why I'm having my YouTube program that is coming on very soon, that you, Tosin, encouraged me to do, was because I come from. I'm this child that was just born into a world whereby.
Oh, she wanna
Don't say
cry.
listen.
I'm listening. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
I'm this child that was born into a world whereby.
No, you're getting upset. You
She
get
is.
a lot of people upset.
She
I
is.
really could not understand
What's okay?
my my growing up,
It's
right?
okay.
Can you hear me?
Can I hear you? I can't hear you, Tosin.
Can you hear me? I'm still here. Can you hear me?
I can't hear you.
I can hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yeah. Mungwe, loud, very loud.
Okay. It's
What
low
I'm
now. I
saying
can't hear you, honestly. Maybe
Can you hear me now?
I think
Can
I'm
you
even
hear
going to
me?
do a push it on right now. So anyway, guys,
Oh, it's okay.
I don't know if you guys can hear me, but let me just stop right there.
Calm
In a nutshell,
down.
what I'm just saying is that if you're going through emotional problems, if you're going through any I need to calm down. Okay.
People don't understand. I'm trying to tell Iyabo
So
to
calm
come
down.
off the conversation because I know who she is.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you people say
You know,
I need to let her speak.
let me tell you something, people.
Babe, I know.
Let me tell you the most difficult thing
Are you there?
that would happen to you. Nobody can understand your story. That's the most difficult thing. Everybody will judge you. I remember when I did that video, that little story I told
Go.
about how my marriage failed. That little story. Let me tell you, that's just the tip of a million things that has happened to me. A tip of a million. And there was a day I stumbled on YouTube. And I was reading, I was reading comments. And people were mocking. Someone said, oh, she's an actress, she's acting. Why is she talking about this thing? Why is she bringing her story to social media? Thank you. People don't care.
Exactly.
They will never care. So at the end of the day, it's all about you, your happiness. If you're in a marriage or in a relationship and you're going through what you can go that, and you're going through one emotional problem, they're beating you, you're not happy, your mental health is important. And when you get up and go, start anyhow. Start anyhow. Don't wait until you die there. And trust me, when you walk out of that relationship, it doesn't mean that it's going to be all rosy. You're going to go through a lot. You're going to go through a lot. A lot. But time heals. You know,
Babe, I'm the one calling you.
Can you hear me?
I'm the one calling you. I just called home.
Please make a decision for yourself. Think, use your brain, and stay happy. God bless you. I love you. I gotta go. I love you.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Ìtàn ìgbéyàwó ni o. Thanks guys for watching. I'm coming back soon to come and do my advert for my clothes and my bag. Love you all. Thanks for watching.